How's it going, everybody? This is Kenema, and we are doing some mod sauce. So, I got a few things to show off and go over. Um, Made a couple videos and didn't take them, so I'm not sure exactly where we left off without going to review some footage. But um, I've been collecting wither skulls, and I'm up to 50 of them right now. So that thing's been running, doing a good job with the cursed earth. Um, wow, that did not fly. With the cursed earth, so it's been actually doing some work and keeping mobs spawning enough to get essence, which is in turns is spawning through the auto spawner. So uh, very nicely recommend that. Um, so yeah, so I basically made this imbued sword, enchanted it, and this thing is awesome. 60.25 damage. So it is ready to do some damage. So the other thing I wanted to get into this episode was get into doing a little bit of Botanica. So I got this Lexia Botanica book. I already started making some stuff, so I'm gonna kind of just, it looked very slow. So I'm gonna go through some of the steps that I did, and to be honest, always wanted to get into Botanica mod, but it really there's not a whole lot to it. So for people out there, or give me recommendations on if you get into Botanica and what you use it for and the mana and stuff. There's a lot of different blocks I've noticed. Teeny planet. So there's probably a lot more than what I'm actually doing with it, but a lot of different plants, a lot of different blocks. I think these living rock blocks look pretty cool. Same with the living wood, and I like that kind of the redwood type color. And then there's different weapons you can make. You can make some of this stuff down here. Any Terraria fans out there, got the Terra Blade, which is basically from it. It looks pretty much identical to in the game. And then you also got these different rings right here. Do the same thing as like haste beacons, but you can wear them on you. Speed, etc. And then different rings, and that's a crown. So yeah, so terra firma rod. Yeah, so there are a lot of different aspects to this. Different ranks, weapons. Looks like there's some signal flares and some other stuff. So wanted to get into this mod mainly for get some of these rings. I was mainly doing it for the necklaces, but the rings kind of look pretty cool. Bobble slot it's talking about is this right here. You can see, you click that, you got the rings, spots. I'm not sure what all these spots are, but I'm sure that's necklace, probably the rings, amulet. So different things that can go in the amulet spots, etc. And then of course these. Looks like there's not a belt spot. That's probably what that is. Not 100% sure. I'll have to look up. This book pretty much has everything. So it has, baubles and accessories, different rings. I guess this is something like the belt, making it, and probably a description exactly what it is. So when one increases movement speed, jump height, resistance to fall damage. So I would be kind of curious to see what all stacks. So let's get onto it. So I found myself moving from my Botanica setup, which I haven't shown yet, over to here to do some crafting quite a bit. So come in here, craft some stuff up, run back over to my Botanica place. If I needed to, go in here. So I made this staff of traveling, and you can already see it there. There's these things that you can make with Ender.io, right here, called travel anchors. So I have not disguised these yet. If I go over to this one, you can see this one. It looks like concrete, so, but it is actually the travel anchor. And now you can see. So go down here. Now I'm at my spawn, front of the sleep. Now I'm at the here, and I got one in there too, but not that I really needed it. But you can see I'm basically jumping right around. If I wanted to go up and look at my system, you fly up a little bit, click, and voila, I'm up here. So very cool. You can see my power. 400. I need to add one more just so I get it straight. 450 million RF stored here. So come down and voila. So let's look at what some of the first crafting. If you have not found this Lexica Botanica, what you'll want to do is just get any sapling, throw it up here with a regular book, and you make this thing. And this book is actually wrote pretty awesome. So you got your Botanica, you got, basics, mechanics, mana manipulation, generating flora, and magical items. So Tear Blade. I wonder if that actually shoots out stuff. But so a lot of different things you can make. Miscellaneous, teeny potato. I've seen that. That thing is pretty cool. Yeah, so I'll have to look into some of this stuff, and I guess this is just an overall index of everything. So what we want to get started with is you go and you can look at the basic mechanics, which, you got the mystical flowers, which just talks about the flowers that you have seen in tons of my episodes, all over the ground. I mean, you just look over there, you got orange, pink, blue, green, you got the light blue, the magenta, the purple, the red, the yellow. So you got these flowers all over the place. And you break them, and you get these magical flowers, which you break down into 2 petals. So that's a start. So what you'll probably want to do is get as many petals as you possibly can. So I have already done this, and let's come over here, and this is my setup. So one of the reasons why I went ahead and did quite a bit of stuff off camera is I have found that this stuff takes forever to work through. So between the mana generation, I mean, this thing has been going, because I am in the spawn chunks, this thing has been going for a day, and you can see it's still not full. And one thing, if anyone watches this video, if you actually know Botanica, one question I need to look up is find out why these things always go to unknown status. I don't know why. They always go to unknown status every time I log in and out. So we will do that, and I don't know if I need to click on these. They're more than likely probably working. I just don't like them saying the unknown status. That makes them look faulty to me. But yeah, let me get into what I did. So very first thing you'll want to create is this thing over here, this petal apothecary. So it's pretty easy to make. If you see it up here, we can do 4 cobble, just any color petal. You can see you can use anything, and some cobble half slabs, and it makes this. So made that pretty easy. You will want to create a water source very close by, and the reason why I say that is once you use this, and we're going to use it here in a minute, you want to get water. Now I did have the water down there, but I found it easier as I'm flying above or dropping things in here. I can just reach over here, grab some water, and so forth. So make sure to have a water reservoir, even if you just do like a 4 block of infinite water spring down beside it, that's fine too. So yeah, so the very first thing you want to make, and you can't make a lot of this stuff without it, is the living wood and the living rock. So that's very simple to make, but you need a daisy. So you want to make this pure daisy. So These crafting recipes in the NEI basically kind of tell you what to do. It kind of looks a little odd from this, but if we just throw in some white petals, and I am going to make another one of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and where's my seeds? We'll keep some seeds on there. So we can go ahead, throw in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you'll see they got some particle effects, swirl around there a little bit, throw in a seed, and there we go. We used up the water, and now we have a pure daisy. So we will put the water back in there for the next thing. So the pure daisy, we have it, and do we have, no we don't. So let's see what we need. Let's go ahead and get, is that 1K? Yeah, let's get a block. So I'll come over here where I needed a little bit more room, plant my daisy. We'll do 2 wide just like all the others, and we'll get the blocks. And we'll set these down. So you want to put them in 8, kind of surround the daisy. Not on top of it, just surround it. And almost done there. Now this will take a minute, so I'm going to kind of go on and so some of the next stuff, give that some time to change. So once you have this is kind of the basic materials. You will want to start trying to generate some mana. So the other thing you'll want to look into, and if we go back to our handy dandy book, we got this, we got the pure daisy, some of the wand of the forest, we can make that, but we can't make this, as we see, without twigs. You can't make twigs, it doesn't show us in there, but you can't make twigs without living wood, so you need to put some, instead of putting the blocks like we did over there, and you can see the particle effects from here, kinda, instead of putting the blocks, you'll actually put logs next to it, so remember that gets you the living wood. So we made that. Let's go back, and we want to look at some of this mana manipulation things, and no, that is incorrect. We want to go to generating flora. So the very first flower that you will make is this day bloom. Day bloom is how you generate mana. It generates it during the sun, as you can kind of expect. There are some diminishing returns. So this book is actually very detailed. I mean, you can kind of walk through the mod quite a bit with just using this in-game book without, watching videos and other stuff. I mean, it can kind of give you some tips. But yeah, so this very nice animation. It's got the petals. You need a blue one, an orange one, and 2 yellows to make that. And it looks like our our living stone is good. So you get living rock. Nice, nice effect on it. Break the daisy, even though I did not mean to do that. So let's get some of this stuff. So you can imagine, right now I don't know if there's a way to automate this. Haven't really thought about it too much, but you can imagine that it does take a while. So you can put multiple daisies out all over the place. And quite a bit of blocks. But so far I've just had to manually place all this stone, different things. So we were going to make, what was it, an orange, light blue, was it 2 yellows? Am I remembering that correctly? I should, I made a whole bunch of them. Yes. So same thing, and of course I just threw my seeds in there. So we throw yellow, yellow, blue. There we go, and our seeds, and we get day bloom. We'll go right there. So once you start getting the living rock and the living wood, then you'll be able to make this staff right here. Now the other cool thing about the staff is if you're going to make it, you may notice that there's all these different color ones. So you can see it's actually, okay, so it has all the combinations in the NEI. You make 3 twigs, put them up in an angle, and then you can actually pick what color of leaves coming off them, what color petals coming off of them, by the different color combinations you want. So you can see 2 per page and 128 pages. So there's quite a bit of color combinations whenever you look at that. So you can kind of customize. I just went green, 2 green petals, just like leaves coming off of it. Okay, so now that we got day bloom started, that will start generating mana, and it's nighttime, so no, it will not. Nightshade. Not sure why it's not generating stuff right now too, unless it's all going in the mana spreader to get in the pool. Yeah, so these things will start generating mana. So now we need to do what I did and point it right towards the so I actually made 2 of these. I made, if you look at the actual mana pool, which is the larger one, you have to kind of throw it in one of these distilled or was that diluted mana pool. So you have to make this first, which is just 5 living rock. Set that down, start getting some mana on it, and then you'll throw the, be able to use to make a second diluted one, throw it through it just like this, and get your mana pool. And that holds a lot more than the base one. Okay, and that's a creative one. So those are pretty easy to come by. And then you have to take make one of these mana spreaders. And if we open up our book again, go back and look into some of this mana manipulation, you'll see the mana pool kind of walks a little bit around it. Distilled, normal, mana usage, etc., etc. In this kind of, infusing mana steel, mana pearls, mana diamonds, petals. So, and you may already notice I have a lot of these petals already made. You can do glass, mana glass. That's interesting. I'd actually like to see that. What about? See what that looks like. That's pretty cool. Nice. So we got mana glass. Not sure if I need that for anything, but looks cool nonetheless. So yeah, I probably only used a little bit of the mana. And this. Yeah. So can do that, and let's go back. There's different items you can make. Apparently you can make mana cookies. Huh. So, and then you want to make this mana spreader, which, as you can guess, that shows you. This picture is a little dark, but you can actually aim and ricochet them off each other. You can go into the mana pool, yada yada. But there's the crafting recipe. 4 or 6, not 4. 6 living wood with a gold ingot and any flower makes this mana spreader. So that's basically what you mainly need to start off with. Here is the mana spreader. You aim it to this. Now you start shift clicking and different things on this. You start turning it different directions, and then it will start shooting the beam in that direction. But you can, I think, shift Really? Wow, this definitely is not making it look. Okay, well, I'll aim it that way. So you can hold down shift, click on it, drag up and down to control the beam. And you saw, see it, how it's actually pointing at the mana pool. So, okay. So that's pretty much that. So that's how you make those. Actually, let's go ahead and let's make one. How much living wood do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we will take any old petal. And we will go over here. Pull out this gold, that, and we got another one. And this one I will place down here shortly. So yeah, so that's pretty much that. That's how you start collecting mana. Day blooms generate it, which it's night, so they're not. But once you get a little bit of stuff going, you probably the first thing that I did was I went ahead and tried to get another mana generator, these endo flames. So these things are very useful. They actually passively generate mana while the fuel lasts. So it needs fuel. And so, you can look at different fuels. It basically works kind of like a furnace, except instead of smelting things, it generates mana. So the tricky thing with this is you need brown petals and red mana petals. Now these mana petals go from dropping the petals through this. So if we come over here and we grab, what do I have a lot of? Light blue. Grab some light blue petals. You can see it says check because I got enough mana in there for it. You just drop them right in and you get these mana petals. So I've already, like I said before, have gotten a little bit crazy and crafted tons of them. So you get the brown, you get the red, and you want to then make these ender flames. Now, another thing you can do, since it is daytime, you can make these nightshade things, which are pretty easy. Those just take 2 black, a brown, colorblind. No, 2 black, a gray, and a purple. Same thing. Drop it in your petal apothecary. With some water in here. Throw a seed in it, and you get those. And that's how I made all these nightshades. So that's supposed to generate it in the nighttime. The day blooms generate mana. Well, excuse me. Day blooms generate mana in the day, and then these are the ender flames. So after you make some of these red mana petals and brown mana petals, you just toss those in there with regular mystical red, mystical brown, and some gray, and throw a seed in there, and it makes these things. Now these things are pretty cool. As I said, they kind of act like a kind of a mana generating furnace. You just throw stuff on the ground and you'll start seeing them disappear. They're basically kind of sucking up the coal. And so we'll let that sit there. See if it absorbs some of that stuff after it finishes. But it basically burns up that fuel. You can put a lot more on the ground if you want, and it will just pick through it. I don't want to throw like the whole stack, because if it doesn't go through all of it in 5 minutes, it'll probably start despawning maybe. So you can see the particle effects coming off of it. Mana is generating. This is a heavier beam. So yeah. And we should start seeing today. Figured these things would pick up and start start doing something. So, so that's basically how you generate mana. Yeah, I would recommend building this stuff, then letting it sit. Try to, if it's not in the spawn chunks, maybe just put a chunk loader around where your blooms are or something. That way you constantly can keep getting a mana build up. And so that's kind of the basic of Botanica. So now we can kind of get into some of these other aspects, but I think this video is getting a little long. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take a break. You know, anyone playing along with this, or you know, needing to learn this for the first time, I would get something set up very similar to what I have. You can do it your own way. We didn't get into the runic altar. That I will cover a little bit more in a later episode. But yeah, so if you start Botanica, I would do this, and then stay around for our next coming episodes to see how to advance, make different things, and anyway, enjoy it. Let's get some rings and some necklaces going in the future episode. So this has been Kenema, and I'll talk to you later.